Hey, Shell.
Hey Lisa,
How you doing?
doing good. How about you?
Well, Kaden just left, and so I'm not happy. I'm not
So,
I'm not joyful anymore.
so sad.
I
So
was very,
why?
surprises. We've talked about love languages. I don't
Yeah.
know, is it a gift when Kaden comes home that I feel so fun and so nice? Or is that quality time that I enjoy him coming home?
Quality time.
Is it?
I think it would be.
Yeah, I don't know if I was a quality time person. I had a hard time when we talked about love languages well, that was many sessions ago, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Um, Coming up with one, but that gives me a lot of
Well,
joy.
think of if you can't think of what it is, you think of what bothers you the most,
Uh-huh.
because that would be what you're not getting.
Well, it doesn't bother me that he's gone. I know he's at school, he's living his
No,
life.
I know. I'm just saying, like when I did it, I was, I couldn't figure out what I was just reading the book. But
Uh-huh.
then it said if you can't figure out what you are yet, think of what you complain about the most.
Huh.
And for me, it was that I didn't feel appreciated. I wasn't getting my words of appreciation.
Gotcha.
So, and then I kind of went, oh, wait.
Oh, okay. And that leads us into today's topic, finding joy. And it's something that you and I have talked about. And we don't have enough of it in our lives.
No, we
Definitely
don't.
not enough of it.
No. Mm-mm.
Um, so I've done some research and talked to people, and I have come up with some conclusions that I think are rather profound.
Okay.
So first of all, you know, in our family, we come from a people that are very, we do the things we have to do. We're very, I don't know whether to say organized, but we are definitely motivated by other people's expectations and to-do lists,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And sometimes that combination can be really deadening,
Mm-hmm.
stifling.
Yeah, I
They
think
just
so.
what?
No, I said I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think when you're governed and motivated and when you are such a people pleaser and you're doing the things, whether a career or just even in your free time, things to please other people, you forget what pleases you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Oh
forget
yeah.
what pleases you lose a part of yourself. And that part, I think, to a large extent, is found in the feeling of joy and
Mm-hmm.
feeling found in the feeling of just that feeling of I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm loving life. And this is who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to whenever you listen to podcasts, I
Lisa,
don't know about you.
Lisa, your microphone is breaking up really bad.
Oh, I think I was sitting on it. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. I can,
Okay.
but it goes in and out periodically.
Does it? Okay, let me know next time that happens.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so getting back to that, I'm just loving life. And sometimes I wonder, are you for real? Are
Yeah.
you for real?
Yep, exactly. Well, I mean, when you and I were talking a while ago about you were asking me what brings me joy in my life.
Hmm.
And like what you were just saying, I think for so long I have denied what would bring me joy to bring joy, to I can't I'm trying to think how to put it into words. It's like, when I was
To
dating somebody,
parents, to husbands, to
yeah,
kids,
I
to
didn't, yeah, I didn't listen to my music. I listened to their music. I didn't,
Mhm.
do my activities. We did their activities. And so now at this age, I look at it going, what brings me joy? I don't know.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
hard. It's like when you're a parent, it's all about the kids. And,
mhm,
I've denied exploring what brings me joy for so long that now I'm going, I have no clue what brings me joy.
mhm,
I know what I
mhm,
do, on a day-to-day basis. But does it really bring me joy? Does it make me go, does it make my heart sing? I don't, I don't know. I mean,
mhm.
it's just what I do.
Right,
you
right.
know?
And the other thing that we talked about in terms of not just wondering if we have joy or not, things that annoy us about joy.
Mhm,
And what I mentioned was whenever I see a Facebook post and somebody says, "Oh, so blessed," and whether it's about a job or an activity or something that they've received or some family event, it's like I want to just go, seriously. Um, Good for
mhm,
you, but is
mhm,
that really I think we do because of our motivation to be secure and solid and bring our kids up right. We do things that set us up for success, and that success in the future shows up as things that make us happy. We are
mm,
glad that we raised good kids
mhm,
and that the things they do are responsible
mhm,
and respectful and they're doing things in their life that make them happy, and that makes
mhm.
us happy, right?
Right, right. Instead of blessed, I'd say I feel so lucky that, it's like, yeah, I did it right. It's
I
like,
think people are getting away from saying I'm so lucky because that's not the Christian way to
right.
express it.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
blessed is an acknowledgement of God, where
Yeah,
luck seems random and
sure. Yep,
more at the whim of the universe.
yep, yeah. Mhm.
Where blessed is, I know what bothers me about being blessed is I am such a good Christian that God is now, shining his favor down on me.
Sure. Yep, yeah,
And it's like,
exactly. Yeah,
really?
right. Yep. Yeah, I
So,
agree. Yeah. Which
so
it
I
and
was,
which isn't the real Christian way of looking at things of, you know,
mhm.
boasting about it and, you know.
But it's wrapped up in, a humble phrase.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
yeah,
get where you're coming from. Yeah.
it rubs me wrong. So there's just a personal pet peeve. And I was thinking, so what are the things that, where does this idea of joy come from?
Mhm.
And so going way
Yep.
back in my life, I think to myself, the opposite of joy isn't actually anger or fear or hurt,
Mhm.
but the opposite of joy is boredom.
Okay.
Okay. And so my son Caden came home just unexpectedly, and one of the things as a 20-year-old young man still loves to do is work with Legos. Now you notice I didn't say play with Legos. He loves working and creating with Legos.
Mhm.
And there are many people who create with Legos who are grown ass adults.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I never realized that. And it
Mhm.
definitely brings him joy.
Oh,
He
sure.
recently
Absolutely.
was an RA up at school, and he had an event called Pieces, Pieces and Pieces, Pieces by Pieces, something like that, that he recently got an award for being an innovative and well attended event where he had all of his Legos up at school. He offered the opportunity for people to come and make a creation and have a piece of pie. And it was very well attended, and people loved it. It created community. People got to talk and know each other. And I thought, you know, I asked him if he was ever bored,
Mhm.
and he said no.
Mhm.
And I thought, he is still enjoying the little things that bring
Mhm.
him happiness. He's never felt the need to put away, childish things.
Mhm.
And right now he's still at that place where he hasn't got jammed into the hole of a career where he's had to, say, well, I can do this for, you know, a short, I mean, he has had summer jobs and things like
Mhm.
that have
Right.
not, not been something that he would want to do for any length of time. But he's not done the day in and day out sacrificing of your
Of your
time
soul.
and soul for a company or a career that's just not there for you anymore.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think, there are many boomers I mean, you're on the edge. You're Gen Z,
Yeah, I don't know. I
one
never
of
paid
those
attention to that.
who, talk about the millennials and the younger kids about how they don't feel like they have to put in their time like we put in our time. And we were
Mhm,
both raised with having to put in your time when you
mhm,
started a career so that you had a foot in the door and
mhm.
people would look at you with respect because you put in your time.
Right, right.
And they don't believe in that same concept.
No, there's more of a sense of entitlement.
And okay, is it a sense of entitlement or is it a sense of, you know, my mental health is important. I
Well,
want
maybe,
balance.
maybe they've also been raised in a society of instant gratification, you know,
True.
which we
Mhm.
didn't grow up in that, you know, you ordered something and it came a month later, or I mean, it's like, it wasn't,
6 to 8 weeks, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't this Amazon next day shipment.
Mhm, mhm.
All
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of blood. Plus, you didn't have the online ordering and all that kind of stuff. You went to a store and had to look for it. And,
Mhm.
whereas like I said, today's society now, everything's right there.
It is. It is.
So,
And so, I mean, there's a good side to that coin and a bad side. And I guess I'm focusing on that honoring yourself and not being willing to get caught in the trap of a career or a lifestyle or anything that sucks your soul.
yeah.
Okay. And so, one of the things that we've been talking about is okay, we were in careers. You are still in your career that sometimes really takes a lot out of us, right?
Hmm.
And how can we bring back the joy? How can we not reinvent, but how can we revisit the things that we love and rekindle that feeling of happiness and contentment and gratitude? And so I was thinking one of the things is like Caden was doing, pursuing passions.
Hmm.
And one of the things that like your book, The Five Love Languages,
Yeah.
if you are somebody who doesn't know what your passions are, think
Hmm.
about the things that you encourage other people to do. For
Hmm.
example, when the kids were little, I always loved to get them those what was those books that had to do with they taught you how to juggle, they taught you how to play cat's cradle, they taught you how to play marbles, and you got a little
I
bag of marbles with it.
Yeah, I know what books you mean. I just can't think of like the name of them, but yeah, there's all different kinds, and they usually come with some type of kit. There was like a
Yeah.
paper bead making one that gave you little papers
Yes.
and,
Yes.
all of those kind of things, or how to make necklaces, and they'd provide you with beads and string and,
Yep. Exactly. Yep. How to make friendship bracelets. And
yeah.
I tell you, I was a Girl Scout. I was um a teacher of young kids. I loved all those things. I
Hmm.
probably should have been an art teacher because, yeah,
Yeah.
making all those crafty things and learning about art and making stuff and making it in the style of somebody else. Oh, way fun, way
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
now for Christmas on my Santa list, I
Yeah.
put in some calligraphy markers
Okay.
and suddenly I got all this calligraphy stuff for Christmas. And I thought, I used to want to buy like calligraphy books and cool ways to letter things for
Hmm.
Aubrey when she was little. Because for a very short amount of time, she had a sketchbook and
Hmm.
she would do like anime drawing. And I thought, I used to like that. And that was just for fun, for
Yeah.
shits and giggles.
Hmm.
And so what I did the other day is I bought a practice book
Okay.
because I didn't have any like it has like slanty boxes in it that you practice the
Sure.
formation of your letters. It's a lot like a grown I mean, I've considered it like a grown-up coloring book.
Hmm.
Um, it's something that if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you're going like, what in the hell is she talking about? But and I put it up on the kitchen table. I
Hmm.
have my stuff set up on the kitchen table and I don't put it away. So if I have some minutes, I can sit down and I can play around with that. And I thought
Nice.
that is pursuing joy.
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
So,
Mhm.
did you ever try to encourage Jesse or any of your kids in something that kind of was exciting to you?
Um,
Does that hit
exciting
a
to
chord with you?
me.
Yeah,
Um, Here we've got a guest speaker. Did I ever do anything that
like Christmas gifts or birthday gifts.
did I ever provide you like
It encouraged me to give Christmas gifts?
no.
No, we're talking about when we're trying to find joy. If we've forgotten in ourselves, sometimes it's fun. What do we encourage other people with gifts or?
By the way, this is my son Bradley that's joining us.
Hmm. Hey, Brad.
She knows me.
Podcast.
Oh, it's a podcast. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, I don't know if it was necessarily encouragement, but I know mom was in band and I wanted to do band because mom did it and she enjoyed it. And
Mhm.
so I felt like I should try that. I wasn't good at it, but I tried. I tried
Mhm.
orchestra too, but I was smaller than the bass.
That's right.
You guys maybe carried that
Shel
thing home, but it was literally bigger than I was.
No, we
Shel, do
didn't.
you still play any instruments?
I don't.
Yeah, you did.
No,
You
I
taught yourself
don't.
how to play piano back in the day.
Yep, I did. And I look back at that and wonder how on earth I actually taught
Figured it
myself.
out.
Yeah, because um yeah, I look at it now wondering, holy cow, I can't believe I did that.
Huh.
Yeah, and I haven't pulled up my flute in a long time. I
Mhm.
have a hard time reading music now.
Really?
I do.
No,
Yeah, I do.
seriously.
Yep, yep.
Why?
I have forgotten a lot of it.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
yep.
So I
Which
guess
which makes me
that's the
sad.
first one is I want to just talk about pursuing your passions. I
Mhm.
think that's something that is definitely something you're beginning to explore, something that I am exploring myself is what are the things that are just plain fun. So when you call them passions, that kind of has a like a sexual connotation to it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
things a playful attitude. What can you have a playful attitude about? What are the things that you used to like when you were a kid that you can revisit? And sometimes those will.
Well, it doesn't even have to be something that you did as a kid. I mean, there's things that you may encounter in your adult life that it's like, oh, this is just what, makes me
What it's all about.
brings me joy. Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be something that from, when you were a kid.
I mean, something I'm interested in and I've never done is play pickleball. And I heard many people are passionate about pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I used to really, really like playing badminton.
Really?
And I think I would like to try that. I was awful at tennis,
Mm-hmm.
not good at all, but I think I could be good at pickleball. I should explore that.
You should explore that.
Maybe I can be passionate about pickleball.
Well, you're passionate about yoga,
Yes, yes. And I also thought I'd
meditation.
like to try Tai Chi. I think that would be, it's beautiful. It's very mindful and centering. And
Mm-hmm.
that feels good to me. That feels really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see, that's where I look at it going, yeah. And
Mhm,
I try to
mhm.
think of things, things that would make me, go, oh God, I love doing this.
Yeah.
I I struggle at that
Uh-huh.
because I really go, you know, I do things out of a sense of necessity. Um,
Mhm,
but it's not I equate it all to when we did our skydiving.
mhm.
When I compare you and I, you jumped out of the plane screaming, hollering, all excited and everything. I jumped out of the plane, like, smiling, laughing, but it was like, yep, this is cool. It was like I had such a much more reserved attitude about it. You know, where you were just like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And yep, jumped out of a plane. Okay, I'm good. It just, I don't feel like I have that passionate gene or, I mean, it's like I don't get
Mhm,
overly
mhm,
enthused about anything that I can think of.
mhm, mhm.
So,
Hmm,
I don't
interesting.
know.
So besides pursuing passions, I know that lots of people will find joy in like self-care, well-being. They find joy in
I do find
taking
joy.
care of themselves. What?
I do find joy in organizing,
You do.
putting
Yes.
things in boxes and bins. Yeah, I do find joy in
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You know, we talked about the fly lady. Do you
Mhm.
fly with a podcast a while ago? And
Yeah.
yeah, you rocked on doing the organizational
Yeah. That
component of
does
that.
bring me joy. And being able to fit, like a live Jenga game, being able to fit things in proper space. Yeah, that brings me joy. Yeah.
And we were talking about how my kitchen, I have never organized my own kitchen.
And how many times?
You
Yeah,
have
let's
always
see.
organized my kitchens for me.
Eau Claire, Tennessee, I did not do.
Ooh, I didn't do it. Mom must have done it then.
Yeah. Eau Claire, Chicago, Sun Prairie, Beaver Dam. Did I do your one at the new house too? So five
Hmm.
times. I've organized 5 of your kitchens. 5 out of
Hmm.
6.
Yeah, because we here, Craig was deployed.
You're right. Yep.
He
Yep.
wasn't even around.
Yep. So 5 out of 6 kitchens I've done.
Hmm.
Yep.
So moving on from that,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
sorry.
care and well-being, I really find a lot of joy in my daily walks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, about it all the time. What gets
You're
and
breaking up again. You're breaking up again.
how's that now? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I look forward to going for walks. I look forward to seeing the stars when I'm going really early in the morning. I look forward to, today.
I'm Stella. If it's dark out, I'm not going for a walk. Yeah.
This morning it was the tulips and the things coming up in chartreuse green, and it's just, it was just, the dandelions were gorgeous. The every flowering tree and bush is in full bloom. It was glorious. The birds were singing. They were going crazy. I saw a deer and her fawn. She went bounding off through the cornfield, and the fawn just went and sunk down. And that was so weird because it was in corn stalks, and the fawn sunk down, and you couldn't see it. It was like invisible. I could not find it again.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. And then the mom kept turning around and looking. She stayed about 20 yards away, and she
Mm-hmm.
was waiting for us to move on. The dogs did not want to move on. I thought it's good that we're on some heavy duty leashes here.
Yeah.
But it was just like things like that. It was like when I am in the doing the walk,
Mm-hmm.
I am right there. I am totally feeling good. I'm just feeling really grounded. I'm feeling centered. There's nothing else I would rather be doing.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can't think of something that makes me feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the other thing is like something that brings joy is when you savor life's moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when lots of people are feeling blessed,
Mm-hmm.
when they have like a birthday or a holiday and their family and friends are all around.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting back, they're recognizing how lucky they are, and they're really just soaking it in.
Yeah.
And
No.
And I know you feel a lot of joy at times like that
Yeah.
when your
Yeah. I
kids are
mean,
around you.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's not so much, I don't feel joy from me, doing certain things, but I'm thinking like, sitting in my clean house, cozy, I'm thinking, cozy on the couch, fire going, just being able to sit and chill and do nothing.
Mhm,
That
mhm,
brings me joy. You know,
mhm. Or
taking a nap brings me joy. I love
how
my
about
nap.
when we're up at the cottage and we're
Mhm.
all working on Sidetracked Sister stuff? We're all on our computers, we're talking, we're laughing. we've just come back from our 6 mile death march. You know, we've exercised, we're eating good, you know, you're whipping me the bird, I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, yeah. Having you there is my sanity point. Um, if it was just me against Mom and Judy, I'd be ready to hurt myself or others.
Which you found out a couple of weeks ago. It's like,
Oh, yeah. I was so glad you came home. Love you, Judy. Love you, Mom. But yeah, sometimes I need you there for my support. Um, but you know, I like up at the cabin, I love, you know, the way we've got things organized and, you know, the way we do our meal prep and stuff like that up there.
Yep.
You and I just have
Very
a
well
system.
organized. There's that word again.
Yep.
Organized. Yes.
Yep. But we, you know, we have our system and that's what works for us. And, you know, it just, yeah, that brings me joy. Consistency brings me joy. You know, change that sometimes can stress me out. But not as much as it used to when I was a kid. My mom always used to have to prep me ahead of time if things were going to be done differently. And my kids were the same way. I had to give them a heads up. You know, it's their product of their environment. I must have somehow passed that gene on to them, but I just always had to give them, you know, just a little bit of heads up. Here's what to expect. And then they were fine. They just needed that moment to, okay, you know, wrap their mind around the difference. But yeah, consistency, you know, having a
routine.
Like a routine. There you go. That's the word. Having a routine, you know, that works. That brings me joy.
And even this past year when we were up at the cottage and it was time for our 6 mile death march, you don't even fight it anymore.
No, I don't. No, there's no sense in fighting it because it's gonna happen. And and with my dogs, I know if I don't, you know, Lucy's gonna have a heart attack all day long. So it's not an option.
Right.
And because I remember back way in the beginning, I tried to cajole you into taking the girls and you were like, nope, you want them to go for a walk? Get your ass going. So yeah, I've learned my lesson.
Motivation.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that in my research, they were talking about bringing joy that I don't agree with. They said that finding life balance brings people joy. And I thought, I've struggled with that word a lot.
Yeah, I have
And
a
I've
hard time doing
never
that one. Yeah.
What?
I've had a hard time. I have a real hard time with life work balance, you know.
And I don't think I've ever found it. I don't think I ever will. And therefore, I wonder if it's actually something to be pursued. If, you know, so you want, I don't think maybe balance isn't. One year, that was my word. I mean, that was something I really struggled with when I was teaching, and I had small kids who were all in school and having, you know, interests and doing things.
No,
Balance.
you become a total, you know, you're last on the list. You've got the house to take care of, you've got your job to take care of, you've got the kids to take care of, you got your husband to take care of. You know, it's like everything that you want or need takes a back seat to everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
And you know, but you know, now like at this point in my life, I should be able to have a better work-life balance, but you know, without other things to do, other passions to pursue, I just sit at my computer and I work till, you know, late hours of the night. You know, not that I'm thrilled to be working till late hours of the night, but it's just like, well, you know, instead of just sitting in front of the TV, may as well get something done, you
Right.
know? So, but you know, I could be cleaning my house. I could, but that doesn't bring me joy.
No.
Yeah,
I did
the end result does, but not the process of doing it.
You know, I did the same thing when I first started teaching. I was working down in Memphis and I would get there early in the morning and I would often stay at the school until 7, 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And my husband was out of town. He didn't work remotely. He I would take him to the airport on Sunday afternoons and pick him up on Friday nights. There was
Mhm.
nobody to go home to. I
Yep.
didn't have a friends. The only friends I had were the people I worked with.
Yep.
And so I loved working. I loved making things for my classroom. I loved organizing it. I loved looking at the kids writing. I
Mhm.
mean, I lived at school is
Yep.
really what I did. No
Mhm.
balance whatsoever.
Yep.
So I
Mhm.
understand how your work can fill up your time
Mhm.
because it's
Yep.
something you have a lot of success in, and it's
Mhm.
something you're solving problems and you're organizing stuff, right?
Right. Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
something that brings you joy.
Yep. Exactly.
So,
Some
but
days.
balance?
Yeah, balance.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it is something to strive for.
Is it?
I think so. I mean, it's just I think it's a healthy thing to strive for your
I don't
sanity.
know.
Yeah.
I guess I've got to give some thought to that. Maybe we'll do a podcast on that one sometime because I don't know. I mean, has any great thing ever been accomplished in the world by people who are balanced? It's usually the crazy people who accomplish great and notable things, isn't it?
Well,
You know?
people that do the great and crazy things, then they achieve a better life balance, and then they're able to make lots of money and then not do anything except
Okay,
what they
yeah,
want to do.
I was actually listening to something and they were saying, isn't it the truth that people who are successful, they work, they have a hustle and they do it and they do it and they do it, and then they back off and they're reaping the benefits of their hard work, and then
Mhm.
they preach balance. They preach a life, work life,
Balance. It's work-life balance is possible when you've got the money to
to
have a
do it.
work-life balance. Yeah.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Yes. So, in terms of finding joy in balance,
Hmm.
I don't know. And I think lots of people will even say that they enjoyed the hustle. I mean, parts of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That working towards a goal. I'm a
Hmm.
very goal orientated person.
Hmm.
And so I do like that does give me joy to work towards a goal. Just
Hmm.
even like this podcast. It's like this podcast doesn't make us a penny, but
Hmm.
I have a fun time doing it.
Yeah.
I love all parts of it. I love coming up with the ideas. I love the conversation. I love the editing. I love putting together the Canva picture that goes on Facebook. I like all the parts of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like we're gonna keep doing it. I don't care if we're doing it for another 10 years.
Right.
It's something that I've begun doing, and we're on episode number 171 now.
Holy
And
cow.
we're just rocking out on it.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean,
Hmm.
we've tried some different things. We've even changed the name. We're in a third iteration of the podcast.
Hmm.
I mean, I haven't interviewed anybody for a while. I want to start interviewing people again. I've even thought of some other podcasts that I want to do. So I find joy in creating
Yes, you
things.
do. You definitely do. Yes. Yeah, and we go on our 6 mile walks, and it's like, okay, so what little brainchild of Lisa's are we going to work on this year?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much, yeah.
So I
And
guess
what problems
that
to
brings
live.
us to the last thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of joy. And that kind of, I think this kind of wraps it all up in a nutshell.
Okay.
I think the thing that really brings many people joy is understanding and recognizing when you're being authentic to yourself
Hmm.
and you are pursuing your purpose.
Hmm.
When you're doing you, when
Yeah.
you have let fall to the wayside other people's expectations,
Hmm.
and you're doing it because of the motivation that's inside of you, because
Yeah.
you enjoy doing it, because it's something that I hate saying it would be something that you'd do even if you weren't paid for,
Hmm.
you know? Um, Once again, a podcast. This
Hmm.
person I was listening to on the podcast, it's not one that I normally listen to. And I pulled it up because I was researching one of the podcasts and I was like, these people are kind of interesting.
Hmm.
And he was saying that he was a doctor and a podcaster.
Okay.
And he decided that when he was talking to people about becoming doctors,
Hmm.
the people were saying they would love to be a part-time doctor, but working 80 hours a week as a doctor was just too
Too much.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, okay, maybe I'll become a part-time doctor and a part-time podcaster. And then and so he for whatever reason he had to go into like emergency medicine. That was like a field that he could be a part-time doctor in.
Okay.
And he discovered that he didn't like that kind of medicine, but he really still liked being a podcaster. And so
Okay.
he started being a podcaster more. And now he's a podcaster with the doctor in front of his name, but he mostly
Oh my
just does
gosh.
podcasting. Yeah,
Wow.
because he couldn't find anybody who really liked being a doctor just because they were passionate about doctoring.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he really does like being a podcaster, and he has made that be very successful for him,
Hmm.
for himself. And he's got a team, and he
Yeah.
does what he does. But I was like, that is what I'm talking about. What would you do if you didn't get paid for it? And like we were talking about, um, learning calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to get paid for doing that. Playing
Mm-hmm.
pickleball. I want to explore that. I'm not going to get paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this podcasting. Yeah, not getting paid for that. Just there are things in my life that I do enjoy that I have found or rediscovered, and they're fun. And I do them just because I enjoy doing them.
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, again, that's where I struggle. I'm trying to figure out what does that for me, other
Mhm.
than just chilling out on the couch.
Yeah. Hmm. And the
Um,
organization, you do get lots of warm fuzzies for that too.
well, I do have to go searching for them. Like the kids, I'm like, oh, I know I know you're not gonna think this is amazing, but you need to humor me and go, ooh, ah, mom, it's amazing, mom. So I open it and I hear the ooh, ah, mom, that's amazing. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Nathan does give me the warm fuzzies. When I show him, he does think, he's like, wow, that's really cool. He does without being prompted. He does do that.
The other time that you do get, what do you think about this? Every Monday, we go to mom's house.
Yes.
So mom and dad are getting to that age where, you know, things are
Little
becoming a
extra.
little bit more challenging for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so every Monday at 5 o'clock, we go over there and do basically an hour and a half of slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
And I vacuum like a
Mm-hmm.
crazy person. And
Mm-hmm.
what do you do during that hour and a half?
Random things. I
Such
dust,
as?
I do laundry, and I yell at mother for buying stuff. And I
Because
pick
you
up
know what you're
things.
doing? You know what you're doing during that time?
Organizing.
You're organizing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly.
Putting things away. Just, yeah, all that kind of thing. Just random.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. It's organizing.
Yes. And we
Mhm.
do that just
Yep.
because.
Yep. Yep.
And when we get done, I feel like we give a lot of joy. It
Mhm.
feels really I feel very accomplished when I leave there after an hour and a half. It's like,
Mhm. Yep.
yeah, it's a little thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of sets them up for
Well,
for
also,
success.
I also like the fact that, it's, because sometimes we could go a couple weeks without seeing mom or dad. I mean, mom,
Mhm.
we always see on Thursdays, but it's like just a nice little to see
Touch
dad,
point.
you know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And we're very blessed
Ah, ah,
that we're both in the same hometown with our
right.
parents, that
Yep.
there's not this sense of I'm going over there every
Yeah.
Monday at 5 o'clock, and
Yep.
what are you doing to help mom and dad?
Again, it's I've got you. We've got our backup system, you and me together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
something that I
I'm a little
feel a
bit
lot.
I'm a little bit more blessed because I only live 8 houses away.
Of course you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so when your dogs go missing, the first place to go look for them is over at her
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. True. Very
Me,
true.
my neighbors call me and tell me that my dogs are swimming the lake a mile away. Yeah, you are more blessed than I am.
Yeah. I just
Oh,
tell
good grief.
if my girls get outside, I just tell them, let's go to grandma's. And I just start walking to mom's house and they show up on the front porch. So,
Yeah. So
all
so
right.
I don't know. It's something that finding joy, creating joy, um,
It's not always
it's
the
something that
easiest
we're
thing to, yeah, it's not always the easiest thing to figure out. But I think everyone, needs to try to find what brings them joy. To at
it's
least,
part of the it's a process that I think is. I mean, we live in a first world. This is a first world problem.
right,
This is
yeah.
not a third world problem. We're not,
No,
on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This
no,
is not, a base layer. This is
no,
definitely something that we have the privilege of being able to explore for ourselves.
absolutely.
And we're
Yeah.
at that stage in life, where our kids are, pretty much grown,
Mhm.
and now we're it going, okay, we got a lot of time left. What are we going to do with this time?
Mhm.
And doing this exploration process,
Mhm.
I think everybody should do it because we're interested in living this next part of our lives as fully and as joy-filled as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with that, I think we can wrap up here, Shel.
I think we can. All
Okay,
right.
nice talking to you. Love you.
Love you too. Bye, Lise.
Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah.